welcome back to Media Scan. Viewers, last week we were discussing with our guests what happened following the gruesome rape and murder of a young doctor in Kolkata and how the state government, the state police and the hospital administration totally failed the people of the state. This week, Supreme Court of India held two long hearings on the goings-on in Kolkata and severely indicted the state governments and its agencies for their conduct. We will have a special guest on our episode this evening to talk to us on this same subject. But before that, a quick recap of what transpired during the week. Mamata Banerjee government had a tough time defending itself in the Supreme Court this week. The Apex Court was hearing the case of the rape and murder of a young doctor in a Kolkata hospital. The Apex Court severely indicted the hospital administration, Kolkata police and the state government. Delay in FIR, compromising the crime scene, delay in videography of the scene, conducting post-mortem before reporting a natural death, and cremation of the victim before FIR was some of the glaring lapses raised by the court. The court also expressed concern over the safety of doctors and medical professionals. It has called for national task force. Even after the court hearing, the attitude of Mamata government has remained questionable. After getting flack for posting Dr. Sandeep Ghosh in another hospital, she has now rehabilitated him as OSD in the health ministry. Meanwhile, stung by the all-round criticism, Mamata Banerjee shot off a letter to Prime Minister Narendra Modi calling for measures like fast-track courts to tackle the challenge of rapes and violence against women. But the question remains, should Chief Minister Mamata Banerjee not put her own house in order before worrying about the country? So after that quick recap, I am now joined by a very special guest on our episode this evening. Allow me to welcome CV Ananda Bose, Governor of West Bengal. Namaskar, Mr. Bose, and welcome on DD India. With your permission, we would like to start this special conversation, particularly on the situation in West Bengal and related issues. So very quickly, sir, I would like to know, when you heard about this very horrific incident, the gruesome rape and murder of a young doctor in Kolkata, the entire nation went into outrage. But we here want to know, what were your first thoughts when you heard about this very tragic incident?
What has taken place in RG Hospital is murder most foul, shocking, stunning, revolting to the conscience of any civilized society. If you have tears to shed, shed them now. If you have sighs to heave, heave them now. If you have voice to protest, protest now. That was the mood in which this incident placed the entire Bengal in. Now it has become a national resentment. Nay, it has become a global resentment. It's a crime against humanity. And that is what shocks everyone. That it has happened in Bengal, of which Gurudev Rabindranath Tagore said, where the mind is without fear and the head is held high. In Bengali, Chitta Jata Bhaya Shunno, Ucha Jata Shir. That these ghastly incidents should have taken place there is something which revolts the conscience of civilized society.
Sir, how do you look at the public outcry that we are witnessing, not just in West Bengal, but all over the country, as you yourself mentioned? There is this thought among people, whether they are parents of daughters or they are common people in the society, young and old, big and small. Everybody is worried that every time such a gruesome incident occurs, there is a public outrage, there are protests, there is an outcry, and then in a matter of few days, we go back to our normal lives till we hear of another such incident. In fact, even while we are worried about this particular RG murder, we are being flooded with news stories from all over the country where Other incidents are being reported with young women, even little girls.
I can speak authentically only about my state, West Bengal. More authentically because I met the parents of the dear departed. Talk to the mother, talk to the mother alone. You will know how ghastly the incident is. The mother is shocked and stupefied. If you have any sentiments, any sensibilities left in you, you will certainly melt when you talk to her. And the father, they are ordinary people. They send their daughter, and the daughter had great ambitions in life, very bright girl. Now, early morning they are told she is no more. And that too, she has been done away with in this manner. Look at the shock which they are undergoing. It's the same shock which is shared by the entire crowd which is on the street. This is something which is enduring. I think it will not fizzle out one day or two because the hurt is so deep on society. That is why the protest is also as deep as we see it around us.
Sir, I want to come to some of the headlines related to this entire gruesome incident, since this is Media Scan. And as you mentioned about the family, among some of those things which have really created anger and even shock among people, one of the most important pointers in that was the manner in which first the hospital administration and then the state police and state government, the way they conducted themselves vis-a-vis the family of the victim. There are reports that they were not even allowed to see the dead body of their departed daughter. The gap between the FIR and the incident is something really worrying. And on top of that, it was being billed as a suicide, even though the body had dozens of injury and torture marks. So when you met the parents of the family, what did they have to tell you about this? And how do you look at the conduct of the state government in this scenario?
The parents were terribly depressed. Worse than what happened. They were kept in the dark. They didn't know what really is going on. They only know that they have lost their child. Who did it? Who is behind it? Who is covering it up? Nothing is told to them. That's a very grievous situation. When you meet them only, they will understand the empathy which you should show to them. Now, it's almost like the entire Bengal society, and also the parents, they are echoing what Jesus Christ said on the cross. Father, forgive them, for they know not what they do. The callous indifference which the government is showing is something which will get no pardon from anyone. People expect government to protect the life of the people. The government appears to be conniving with others. This is what is echoed in the streets of Bengal. This is what the Honorable Supreme Court of India has echoed in many words. When one of the Honorable judges said that in 30 years of his career, he has never seen something as gruesome as this. And also when the Kolkata High Court said, absolute failure of the governmental machinery. This does not bring credit to anyone down the line. Government has failed in its duty.
You just said that, that there seems to be a connivance of the government with some people. We here, for the benefit of our viewers, we would like you to slightly elaborate on that, because the state government has been demanding justice for the victim and was prompt to say that the CBI should take over the case. So how do you explain your words that there seems to be a connivance?
This is the opinion which is aired in the streets of Bengal and also by the irate public everywhere. Now, as governor, I would say, it is the duty, bounden duty of the government to rise to the occasion and act. What people want from government is action, not an alibi for inaction. There is total inaction from the part of the government. This is not my personal view. This is not just a reflection of the views that are expressed in the public. This is a considered opinion of the Supreme Court of India, as it is given in the various statements which is made in the public. We cannot justify this. We cannot condone this. Government has failed in its duty. And worse than that, I saw my esteemed constitutional colleague, the Chief Minister, on the streets. She's protesting. Protesting against what? Government's duty is to protect, not protest. In a civilized society, in a democratic society, government has to do its duty. Now, who is protesting? The health minister is protesting. The home minister is protesting. Home minister and the health minister are complaining to the chief minister. Action is not being taken. And
But
what does the
sir,
chief minister say?
yes.
Chief minister is also protect. See, as a governor, I know the chief minister is the home minister. Chief minister is the health minister. So people are not convinced. Their
So
action is
indeed,
required.
as you
This
said,
kind of-
the chief minister is also holding the portfolios of health and home, which means all the ministries and departments which are associated with this most foul crime that you mentioned. But sir, everybody is able to see the irony in that protest by Mamata Banerjee. But really, why do you think she did it? There must have been some intent in coming out on the streets while she is the chief minister.
I am not competent to comment on the intentions of my colleague, but it is surprising that such a step has been taken. You know, as we would think, it all looks like the Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde face of the chief minister. Enigmatic. It's an enigma, a riddle and a puzzle why such actions are being taken.
Sir, you were just referring to some of the observations by the Honorable Supreme Court. And so I am compelled to bring out one or two points that were heard during the observations. The most severe indictment by the bench seems to have come for the Kolkata police. The way the police conducted itself, whether it was allowing a cremation before an FIR has been registered, the whole fiasco with the post-mortem, and then most particularly what happened in the premises and around the RG Kar hospital on the midnight of 14th August. In this entire scenario, how do you look at the conduct of Kolkata police, number one? And secondly, sir, do you think those responsible for the dereliction of duty have actually been pulled up till now?
These are two vital questions which everybody is asking. These are the questions which are underlined by the Honorable Supreme Court of India. Your first question about the responsibility of the Calcutta police. I have been observing the Calcutta police in the last 20 months, ever since I took over. And also as a former civil servant was seen policing in the country in various states. I would say a portion of the Calcutta police, a portion, not the entire thing, a portion or section of the Calcutta police is criminalized. A portion of the Calcutta police is politicized. A large section of the Calcutta police are corrupt. This corroborates the observations made by the Honorable Supreme Court of India.
Do you expect any improvement in the situation on the part of Kolkata police after the very severe indictment in the apex court of the country?
We are bound to obey the orders of the Supreme Court of India in letter and spirit. Action has to be taken against the culprits. The head of the police, total inaction and deviative action. Action has to be taken against heads of the police, senior officers, and also those who were known for the inaction or complicity when the marauders took over the hospital at midnight. Strong action.
Are you aware of any facts which can prove that there was complicity on the part of the Kolkata police, sir?
Alleged complicity. Alleged complicity.
Okay. We shall move to the hospital administration, because if there has been any particular agency that has come up for the harshest comments, not only in Supreme Court but everywhere around, including the common residents of Kolkata, that is about the way the administration at the hospital handled the situation. Apart from the fact that there was criminal delay, there are questions about the background and the connections, the perhaps political connections, and the conduct of the hospital chief, the principal, who was shifted because of the immense public pressure from that hospital, only to be reinstated in another hospital within a matter of hours. And when that was objected by the doctors in the second hospital, he was then rehabilitated as an OSD in the ministry headed by the chief minister. This entire chain of events, how do you think people will feel inspired or hopeful of justice when we have such steps being taken by the government. And secondly, most importantly, sir, the whole media is asking every day on prime time, what is it that is so special about Dr. Sandeep Ghosh that the Chief Minister, despite all evidence, is not ready to dispense with him?
I can respond to the question from my own personal visit to the hospital.
Yes, sir.
Immediately on learning that the hospital has been ransacked by certain rowdy elements at night, I went there. What I saw was ghastly. There was total pell-mell everywhere. The lack of administration or maladministration was there. It is almost as shocking as what Shakespeare said, the hell is empty, all the devils are here. The hospital administration failed miserably in its duty. Supervisors also failed in the supervisory role. Government failed to take corrective action. That is what has revolted the entire public. There is no justification for what happened in the hospital, particularly on the night. And also, the inaction and the cover-up, if I may say so, which took place later. People are shocked. People are revolted. They have a right to know the truth. Government has to give them the truth, the whole truth, nothing but the truth.
Sir, now that the matter is in the hands of the CBI and investigation is going on in full swing, nobody failed to notice what the CBI had to, argue or present during the hearing in Supreme Court earlier this week, where the CBI team argued that they are facing tremendous challenge in conducting this investigation because by the time the case was handed over to them, there was a criminal cover-up and extreme tampering and compromising of the scene of crime, which has led to destruction of evidence. And so they are facing a very challenging situation putting together the evidence and the facts of the crime.
CBI is India's primary investigative agency. I'm sure that the case, though very, very complicated and made complicated deliberately, will certainly be unearthed. Facts will come out under investigation. Since the investigation is going on, I do not want to comment anything at this stage. We are all hopeful that CBI will be able to bring out the truth. A lot of cover-up has been done. That is what we hear from the CBI and also the newspaper reports, and also what is reflected in the comments of the Honorable Supreme Court. For the complicated situation, solution also will be there. There are two ways of looking at the thing. One set of people who find solutions to problems, others who find problems in solutions. CBI is an agency which is proven with a proven track record of finding solutions to problems. I'm sure that we will certainly get to know the truth very soon.
Just a direct question, sir. Despite what you have just articulated, there are doubts in the minds of the people that considering what happened before the CBI took over, are you hopeful that they will be able to reach at the bottom of the crime?
I'm very, very hopeful. It's difficult for them. I'm sure they'll achieve it at the end.
Right. Coming back to the Chief Minister of your state, sir, on a day when the Supreme Court came down so harshly on the government and many of its agencies, the Chief Minister of West Bengal, Mamata Banerjee, dashed off a letter to the Prime Minister of the country where she has suggested several measures as she thinks that rapes and atrocities on women, crimes against women are becoming a very serious issue. Fast tracking of courts is one of those measures, and then there are other measures like better policing, etc. Now the comment that we were scanning across media were that everybody wants to ask the Chief Minister why she cannot apply or execute those plans in the state that she is governing, and why should she not focus on her state first before trying to set things right in the rest of the country. Your comments.
I wish her well on her world view, but as governor who is in charge of West Bengal, I would ask my Chief Minister to focus on West Bengal, solve the problems there. That is what people expect of you, not by generalizing the problem. No, you have to be focused on your state, give justice to the people. Look at the cry which comes from the youth there. They want only justice. Is it something too much to ask for? Under the Indian Constitution preamble, we framed the Constitution to ensure to everyone justice, social, economic, and political. It is that fundamental tenet of the Constitution which people are asking, please implement. Madam Chief Minister, please focus on your state. Bengal expects you to do your duty. Do your duty. What they want is duty, not an alibi for not doing your duty.
Right, sir. But to be honest, sir, and I'm asking this straight to you, every time you have made your thoughts in public regarding whatever that goes wrong, whether it was Sandesh Khali, whether there have been back-to-back incidents in the state reflecting a lot of misgovernance, particularly vis-a-vis women of the state, there have been attacks on you as well, saying that you have not kept up to the to the mandate of your position as governor, and that your comments and your actions in the state often reflect a political agenda. Are you hurt by these comments that keep coming from the Trinamool Congress and other parties from time to time?
I'm not hurt, I'm amused. I'm amused by the comments which they make.
Why?
But entering into political rhetoric is not my domain. I was offended only with one allegation, which a lady called Mamata Banerjee leveled against a man called Ananda Bose. I felt offended only on that. For that, I approached the High Court of Kolkata.
Yes.
Defamation case against not against the Chief Minister, it's the individual Mamata Banerjee. That is a fight between two individuals. I cannot compromise on my self-respect. Therefore, I filed a suit. Since it is sub judice, I do not want to comment on that. But your general question, see, a ruling party can make any political statement. Governor is not above criticism. Our critics are most welcome. Critics are good teachers. They hold a mirror before you. I welcome their criticism of my performance as a governor. That is for the constitutional authorities to decide. That is for the people of Bengal to decide with whom I am. You know, in my oath which I took, there are two aspects to that. First is, as governor, I will defend the Constitution of India. Second, which is very, very important. Second is, I will work for the well-being of the people of Bengal. I am with the people of Bengal. I am for the people of Bengal. I don't care who criticizes me. I will do my Raja Dharma. That is what I am trying to do. Criticism does not matter at all.
Yes, so we shall wait for the outcome of the case that you have filed in the High Court following a very objectionable complaint from a functionary in the office. But coming back to the issue of the doctors, sir, there is a thought all over the country, and there are NGOs and political groups and other concerned citizens who are reflecting that every time such an incident comes to light, there must be some effort to ensure that better environment can be established for the safety of women, not just in rural areas, but professional women and women in all walks of life. I am sure with this incident coming to light, you also must have some thoughts or measures in mind that can be taken. And since you enjoy a constitutional position, perhaps there is something you would like to introduce or execute that can ensure safety for our women and girls.
As governor, I have given 5 letters to the Chief Minister with concrete suggestions on what to do. There cannot be any compromise on the security of the medicos, not only medicos, anyone, particularly those of women. You know, we used to take pride in saying that Yatra Naryastu Pujyante, Ramante Tatra Devada, where women are honored, there the gods rejoice. Is it what is happening in Bengal? Foolproof system should be there to provide security for them. Legislation should be there. I have given in all my letters together 50 suggestions which I received from various sections of society. And also, after examining the best practices available throughout the world, we should see that a foolproof system is put in place to protect those, particularly the medicos. See, they are all working under great strain. Added to that, a threat to life, uncertainty of security is something which disturbs not only the medicos, but the entire society. The government has to act. Bengal has to act. The whole world is watching. We cannot give any excuses now. Foolproof security systems should be there. I have already given my suggestions. which I did not want to expand here. It's already given in writing.
Right. So on that hopeful note, sir, we are very grateful that you found time in the midst of all your engagements to speak to DD India and share your thoughts not only on what is going on in West Bengal, but also on particular allegations leveled on you. We shall try to connect to you in another episode as the situation progresses. But for now, thank you very much for joining this episode on DD India. Namaskar. So that was CV Ananda Bose speaking very frankly from the bottom of his heart, not only about what is going on in West Bengal, but also that he will keep raising his voice and articulating his thoughts when it is in the interest of the people of West Bengal. Viewers, that's all on Media Scan for this evening. Do join us next weekend for another episode of National Importance. Till then, namaskar.